is, if I ask, let's go through it again. Do I love my church? Absolutely. Do I feel like I'm lucky to be a part of it? Sometimes. But if I truly think about it, yeah, absolutely again. Okay? If I lost my church, what would my life be? What would my life be like? And the truth is, it'd be very uncomfortable. So why do we hesitate to bring people? Did a bit of a research today, and it said 80% of people said they would go to church if they were invited. And that shocked me a little bit, to be honest. It said 80% of people would actually come to church if they were invited. Now, I am a Coptic school graduate. I work at the Coptic school, and I have been in my own little world for many, many years. And I love that little space. It's awesome. But not long ago, I went up to the monastery, and as some of you guys know, we had a brother from our church, Mina, who's also known as Brother Athanasius. And I went to the monastery with one intention, and one intention only: just hang out with Brother Athanasius. I didn't go for anything spiritual. That's the absolute truth. And the whole day, we were like, just everyone was like, "Go do this." Harder, no worries. We go do this. We come back as soon as I'm free. Brother just got gypped by Sayyidina. Go do the harder Sayyidina. No worries. We ended up getting all the way to the night. We met up at midnight, and we finally got to like hang out, and that was awesome, to be honest. Love that guy. But however, at 10 o'clock, if anyone has ever been to the monastery, you know, if you're in your room, Abuna Anthony has this beautiful thing where he sees you in your, like in the room, and he just sits down. And you know, he unties what's it called again? Yeah, the console. And he sits there and goes, so how's everything going? And I'm like, I don't want to do small talk. I want to go see Athanasius. Go away. Like, I don't want to do this. And then he asked me a question. He said, what projects are you working on? In my head, I'm like, Project Athanasius, get out. Like, I just wanted to get out. And then he asked me like a question that kind of threw me off. And I've been going to the monastery on almost every single holiday since I was in year 7. So I'm not new to this environment by any means. And he asked me, he goes, who are your main group of friends? And I was like, yeah, pretty easy. Like, it's the like boys from church. Like, it's boys from church, whether it's from this church, another church. It's just all my mates are directly correlated to church. He said, why? I was like, yeah, why? This is such a fatty question. Like, what do you want me to say, Abuna? My mates are in the clubs. My mates are in the like. What do you want me to say? And he actually said, he goes, why is it that you don't have friends that are outside of the church? And I said, that's not what I said. Okay, I didn't say I don't have friends outside of the church. I said they're just not my closest friends. And he goes, okay, well, how many of them have you invited to church? And there I stumbled very quickly. I stumbled very, very quickly. I said, I don't think I have many times in my life. And the truth of the matter is, like this stat, about 80% of people would come to church if they're invited, I think is very, very true. I know at university, I went to Wollongong, and if anyone knows, it's pretty much as close to Sodom and Gomorrah as it gets. Like, you know, there's no morality in that university. It's chaotic. But anyway, I remember being at university. We had a focus group. The name Focus was taken, so we had some. I can't even remember what it was called. Okay, it's been a while now. So it was some random group of like Christian people, and I remember we had this one guy amongst us was the biggest beast ever. Like, just an awesome, awesome guy. And he was a bit older than me, and I remember he was such a big figure for inviting everyone. And in my head, I'm like, bro, like, what if they get angry? Like, don't be that Bible basher. He goes, Bible what? Okay, like, don't worry about it. Just be yourself, and like, let's see what happens. Marlon, thank God, he was so solid, and I was literally a little princess behind him, being afraid of speaking to anyone. And then I remember I decided to be brave, big brave boy. So what did I do is I bought myself a nice big cross together, and I don't know if any of you guys remember, I used to wear this massive cross around, and I used to wear it like proudly. And one day he asked me, he goes, Andrew, why do you wear the cross? I'm like, this is my time to shine. Because I want people at university to see that when I walk around that I'm a Christian. And he, being very sarcastically, just said, he goes like, shouldn't they just know that you're Christian by your actions? And I was like, once again, he got me. So what did I do? I put that cross back inside. I've never taken it out. Okay, because yeah, he's right. Like the truth is that my Christianity should be shown. Like people should be able to look at me and be like, this guy's a little different. He must be a Christian. This guy's a bit different. He must be a Christian. That's what I wanted. And so as this guy was really, really good, there was a girl at university who had no correlation to the church. She kind of grew up in this Christian family. They didn't really care for the church. They couldn't care less. She was allowed to do whatever she wanted. Mum and dad were like, yeah, you do as your heart desires. Just rock up to church on a Sunday. You'll be fine. And there was no love for the church whatsoever until this person started inviting her. And I was like seriously, you're actually going to invite her? And she started to come to church. And what's crazy is that she came once, then she came again, then she kept coming, and then she kept asking, when's Bible study? It's okay. We do Bible study at that church. It was on a Monday night. Okay. When's book club? It's on a Wednesday. Hard to see on Wednesday as well. And she ended up attending church a lot more than all of us. It was like this new hunger for the church that she had. And it was incredible. And I just sat there and I said, if it wasn't for that one person, all it took was one person being just a Christian, didn't even do anything, just was a Christian, said, hey, do you want to come to church? They were like, yes. And I go back to this stat, about 80% of people said they would be keen to go to church. And that's amazing. And I think we are so lucky. We have so much and we don't even realize how much we have. But then it comes back to this question, whose responsibility is it to invite the person? Is it a bonus? Is it Sammy's? Is it, the youth leaders? Is it the head deacons? Whose responsibility is it? And the truth is that this is where we all put our hand up and we go, I prayed. Thank you, Habibi. Well done. We can all pray, and praying is absolutely the first part that we must do. We must. But we need to be humans as well and just say, we show a friendly face, and not because we're fake, by any means. Because St. Paul shows us later how he how he treated people. How he treated people in order to win them over for their sake. Okay? Not mine. Imagine right now, we came to church, no one served. No one prayed. No one did the hymns. No one did prayer meeting after. No one organized the message. No one sent out the poster. No one checked up on you. What would our church look like? And the truth is, if we think about it, we wouldn't really have a church that we have. How many of us would even be here? I wouldn't be here. That's the truth. I wouldn't be here either. Or it takes someone else messaging, checking up on me as well. Every single person needs to be served. Now, imagine if everyone contributed. Hey, you know what? I look around and I know for a fact that, it's cold. People are going to come later. People are going to come when the food arrives. Typical youth meeting behavior. It's fine. But what if I simply shoot him a text? Hey, where are you? Oh, it's too pushy. What's too pushy? I'm a very big... I love to give myself every excuse under the sun to not send that text message. Like, for example, my Sunday school kids don't come, and if they tell me, oh, hey, by the way, I'm busy, I just take that, oh, yeah, no worries, bro, all good, because I don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation. Oh, hey, bro, oh, I just wasn't feeling it. Okay, no worries, all good. But these are all opportunities for us to actually speak to a kid, speak to the youth, and realize, hey, why aren't you coming? Oh, you know what, man, I've been feeling it lately. And imagine if everyone in this church invited a friend. Imagine if everyone in this church prayed for the service itself. How many of us ever prayed for a service? How many of us actually prayed for a service? I know one time there was this servant who I served alongside with, and it was just everything that person did, I was just always gobsmacked by him. And he always told me, he goes, like for all our Sunday school kids, he goes, each kid equals, like one kid equals one matanya. So he'd go home every single night, and every night he'd do a matanya for every single one of those kids. And in the last 10 years of serving, I've never seen a service or a servant that's flourished more than this servant. Didn't give the best talks, didn't do the outings, didn't spend money on them, didn't spend excessive time with them, but he prayed for them and he loved them, and they felt his love all the time. Anytime he was around, you felt his love because his love came from God. It wasn't a strange person. It was the most, like you always felt his love. But the problem with today is that the church has created us and we have become consumers. You know the saying, customer's always right? Yeah. We are the customer that thinks we're always right. I'll give you an example. Like we say, what does the church do for me? Do I like the hymns? Do I think the priest is funny? Do I laugh at the sermons? The sermons are too long. The mass is too long. There's too much Coptic. I don't understand the Coptic. The priest is wearing funny things. The deacons are wearing funny things. And we do all these different things and we say like, what is it? Why is it not serving me? Like everything is about it serving me. Youth meeting, I'll come later. I'm not ready to come at 7:30. Did it today. I'm not ready to come at this time because it's what is serving me. And by the way, I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. And, we make a huge thing about, the service just takes so long. And that's a massive thing. What about, is that the way the New Testament ended for us to be? Were we supposed to be the people that clocked in and clocked out of church? Oh, I did overtime today. Oh, I'm exhausted. I could imagine, at St. Barbara's today, we had a meeting from, all the way through. We had from kindy all the way to year 12. And I can guarantee you, everyone was like, not impressed with the fact that we had to stay until X amount of time. Why? Because it doesn't serve me. It's as simple as it is. But there were some people in there that really stepped up and contributed to it as well. And that's what our church should be. You know what? Like we have this weird, like we set boundaries around God. And sometimes we set boundaries only around God. I'll give you an example. I'm on the phone with my mate. If my mate is in need, I'm going to spend time. Hey, bro, by the way, I just want to let you know, it's 10 p.m. I'm going to go to sleep now, by the way. But if you're still up for it, call me tomorrow. Of course, he'll never call you back because that's not genuine love. Imagine I was in need of money and my friend goes, oh, listen, I'd love to help you out, but I can only give you 10% of what I make. Not 11. No, sorry, I did the math. I'm sorry. It's not going to work out. We're very calculated with God. Yeah, I'll spend this amount of time. Yeah, I'll pray these certain prayers. And that's all we do. And God forbid we did more. God forbid we did more. But here's the crazy thing. The church isn't somewhere you go. The church is something you are. I am a part of the church. I am of the church. And in university, and a big problem that people have when they get to university is that they go, oh, it's so weird because I'm so different. Like, everyone's doing this and I don't want to do that. It just feels so weird. Feels weird. Like what? What are you talking about? We're Orthodox. Of course we're going to be different. If you are the same as everyone else, you're doing everything wrong. I'm sorry to say, everything is wrong. You must be different. If you feel like, wow, I'm finally getting along with everyone at uni, disaster. This is an absolute disaster. If I find that I can get along with every single person at work and we're laughing about the same garbage, this is a disaster. I'm sorry to say, it is actually a disaster. That should not be a goal for us. My goal should never be, I just really want to get along with everyone. I'm number one people pleaser. If I upset any random person, I'm cut. However, there are times where I have to exclude myself. I have to. The conversation was really funny. Someone makes an inappropriate comment. What are my options? Option number 1, laugh. Slap my knee and continue. Laugh. Option number 2, I can add onto it as well. So I can get more people to laugh at me. Option number 3, I have morals. I have standards. I don't laugh. I don't engage in this conversation. And it becomes a little bit awkward. Yes, Tadros. Thank you. Yeah, you can't ignore it. Absolutely, you can ignore it. But the problem is, once again, as a people pleaser, I don't want to ignore it. I want to laugh with it. I enjoy laughing. Laughing is great, beautiful thing. But sometimes we put that above our morals. We put that above what's important. We put that above our God. And that's a harsh reality. And we've become, as a generation, way too emotional about church decisions. I'll give you a very simple example. I wasn't a fan of Abuna's sermon last week, so you know what? I'm going to come right after. I'll just come right after. What's the big deal? Back in, when we were younger, there used to be a rule, if you didn't come before the gospel, you weren't even allowed to have communion. And now, my head hurts sometimes when I see church. And I'm one of these people sometimes where I rock up really, really late and I'm like, yeah, communion. It's communion. I need to have the body and blood of God. And we lose all our things and we start to make our own decisions, which is really bad. And here's another one. We go, I've actually, someone actually said this to me once and was very close to headbutting this person. One of the guys said, he goes, I stopped coming youth meeting. I'm like, why? What happened? He goes, sorry. He said, no one made me feel like really special. I was like, bro, what are you talking like? And he was my age as well. And I can't even say what I said to him. It was rude, but I was really upset. I was like, what did you, I called him out for it. I was like, dude, you sat in a corner, you sat on your phone, you looked depressed the whole night. I didn't want to speak to you. And you're my friend. Like, I don't want to speak to you. What makes you think anyone wants to speak to you? It's like, yeah, but because no one made the effort. I said, Habibi, you sat in a corner. What do you want? And generally, he actually stopped coming. And I was gobsmacked. And every time I'd see him, I'd be like, are you coming youth meeting tonight? I was like, nah, man, I'm not feeling it. Feeling that. What feeling are we talking about? Why are we feeling so? I don't feel like coming. I don't feel like eating well. Because, Banani, you have to. Okay? Another one that people have started to do as well, it's actually incredible. I don't feel it with my confession father anymore. Oh, so who do you confess to now? Nah, I just stopped. Yani, you stopped. What does it mean that you stopped confessing? Yeah, I asked my confession father about something and I wasn't feeling his solution. So I don't like his solution, so I'm going to stop. Tayyib, did you go to confession before because this is your psychologist? Do you think you're there to get your count? No, absolutely not. If you were there for a good feeling, don't go. You're right, don't go. You did it completely wrong. I'm there to go to confession because I have sins that I need removed off me. I go to confession because I need to be guided by my spiritual father. I don't need to trust. I promise you, I never feel like going to confession. No, I don't think anyone's like, I cannot wait to confess. I did a really disgusting sin. I can't wait to, have a chat to Abuna about it. Relax, it's actually always the opposite. I do something hard, I'm like, Abuna messages me, I ghost Abuna. Well, hey, when are you going to confess? Yeah, Abuna. So, uni, work. Abuna, I'm so busy, I'll catch you when I can. And we keep on pushing it away because, I don't want to have that conversation. But once it comes back to our feeling. I don't feel like inviting people. I don't feel like confessing. Our feeling doesn't matter. There was one of the ladies at another church, and she was a convert. She was actually Muslim, and she converted. Obviously, very, very brave. And one person asked her in a talk, they said, give us your experience, give us your story, blah, blah, blah. And she went up and she spoke about her story. And then she had this very, intense statement at the end. And I'll kind of go through what she said. She goes, imagine one day you woke up and you had no liturgy, you had no youth meeting, you had no tasbihah, no hymns, no igbayah, no Bible, no priest, no confession father, no Sunday school, no sermons, no upper media. That was my life before the church. And then she asked, so why do you guys keep it to yourselves and not share it? And that was like a really big thing. And people were like, we don't know. And like if we ask ourselves why do we keep it to ourselves? Because I don't know, I'll tell you I feel like if I tell anyone, hey, would you like to come to church? Number one, I don't want to be rejected. That's number one. Number two, I feel like I am overbearing. I don't want to be the Bible basher. I don't want to be the person that makes it weird. But the truth is, if I think about it, hey bro, do you want to come to church? Nah, bro, I'm good. All right, bro, take care. That's actually sometimes as simple as it goes. But sometimes, if we just pose the question and we end the conversation with, yeah, whenever you're keen, let me know. You would be shocked at how many times people will come, tap you on the shoulder, and be like, what's this whole church thing? All right, come. And so, if I ask myself, at church, at my diet, some people don't go to this church, and if you come to this church, ask yourself a question what do I contribute to St. Barbara's? What do I contribute to my church? And if my answer is nothing, I'm sorry. That's a little bit concerning. If I became a monk or I died, would my absence even be felt? If my answer is yes, it's not a pride thing. If I feel I do enough that, my presence is felt, great, you're doing God's work and there's nothing, oh no, if I left the church, it would be complete. No, you need to feel like I'm contributing. It's a church. If I ask you guys, if I ask a father, do you feel like you contribute to the, oh no, I do nothing in this house, you'd be like, this is a stupid father. So it's the same thing with our church. Do you feel like you're contributing to the church? Some of us are bystanders. Some of us just go with the flow. I'll do what I need to do, and as soon as 12:30 hits, I finish Sunday school, gone. As soon as youth meeting, gone. As soon as the talk finishes, I'll rock up, I'll eat, gone. What am I coming for? What's my intention? And so St. Paul had rights, but he never demanded them. And this is where I want to read a little bit of the Bible. I thought we wouldn't read the whole thing. There's about 5 or 6 verses that I'd like us to read. If we can go to 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 12. Sammy, can you choose people to read for me, please? Because I can't read. Name, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Just 12 for now, please.
If others are partakers of this right over you, are we not even more? Nevertheless, we have not used this right, but endure all things, lest we hinder the gospel of Christ.
Beautiful. And I love what St. Paul says, like, at the end of it doesn't matter what I go through, as long as it's for the service of God. How many of us actually feel this way? You know what, man? I've had a hard week at work, and I cannot be, and I know we've all said this, I can't be stuffed for my Sunday school kids. I can't be bothered dealing with this servant. I can't be bothered dealing with this parent. I can't be bothered dealing with this ammo or this tant or this priest. We've all felt that. And they're very normal feelings. And with certainty, I'm sure St. Paul felt it. I'm sure for a fact there were people St. Paul couldn't tolerate. But what did he say? He goes, but endure all things lest we hinder the gospel of Christ. He goes like, take whatever it is on the chin for the sake that someone might find Christ through you. Father Anthony Sharkawi always said, he goes, attribute yourself as like a stepping stone. He goes, we don't bring people to God. He goes, let them step on you, not in a bad way. He goes like, always defend yourself and stand up for yourself. He goes, let them use you as a stepping stone to get closer to God. Sometimes, yes, we need to have those longer conversations. Yes, we need to be a bit more gentle with people. Yes, we need to have that extra phone call, the extra text, whatever, just that little extra bit. And what do we say? Like our head servant at church always says, he goes, it is not our responsibility to bring people to church, but we do 2 things. We show love and we pray that God leaves a little seed inside of them. And we pray that that seed grows. That seed of love of God grows inside of them. That's your job. That's your prayer. And I ask myself, how many services of mine or of yours would have flourished if I stopped trying to fix everything myself and actually go to the cross and say, Lord, these are your children, you deal with it. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do, but you deal with them as well. How many of our services, how many of our homes, how many of our relationships would be fixed if we had this attitude? St. Paul never asked, what's in it for me? He never asked that, okay? Can I get someone else to read from verse 19 to 23? Thanks, boys.
For though I am free from all men, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win them all. And to the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might win Jews. To those who are under the law, as under the law, that I might win those who are under the law. To those who are without law, as without law, not being without law toward God, but under law toward Christ, that I might win those who are without law. To the weak I became as weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. Now this I do for the gospel's sake, that I may be partaker of it with you.
Thank you. How willing is St. Paul to do literally anything? There is no condition for what St. Paul would do. And he says in verse 23, now this I do for the gospel's sake. What does gospel mean? Good news. I do this for the sake that every single person I come across will know that Jesus is the God who died and he resurrected. And he goes, God forbid I boast in anything except the resurrection. God forbid I boast in anything. And the truth is, guys, in the beginning I asked you guys, are you proud of your church? Do you love your church? The answer is yes. The answer is we are actually rolled the lottery ticket. Like we are winners. We are so lucky that we're here. We are so lucky that we're here. But ask yourself, what would I be without this church? And I always hate that question. I always tell people, I'm so blessed that I grew up in the Orthodox Church. In fact, I actually don't know how people live outside of it. I'd have every single problem under the sun. I'd probably have every addiction under the sun. But without the church, what would I don't even know what I would do. And I don't know if that's ignorant. I don't know if that's because I grew up in my Coptic bubble, but thank God for my Coptic bubble. But the sad thing is, why am I keeping it to myself? If I know of like a really good like fitness program and I get absolutely shredded, inshallah, okay? And people come and ask me, hey, how'd you do it? And I go, oh, listen, I go to some place and I figured it out. Look, this guy's what a rat. Like, just tell me, man. Like, just tell me. What do you mean? What place do you go to? Oh, bro, listen. Look, I don't want to be overbearing, so I'm not going to tell you, okay? Because if I tell you, it might upset you. Just tell me, man. Why? What makes you happy? What makes you look good? What makes you feel good? Nah, sorry, man. Have you heard of a priest? You know what? This conversation's too much. I can't do this. And this is how we treat the church. We treat the church, and it actually boggles my mind. Like, I love the fact that people are so comfortable with just asking little questions. I know of a GP who, even in his consultations, God forbid you bring up God, but he always says, he goes, during the consultations, he goes, I just say small things like, thank God. The patient will be like, I'm feeling so much better. Thank God. And he goes, you get one of two reactions. First reaction is God, and they give you a dirty, and you go, yeah, thank God. Smile it off, and they walk away. And then you have other people that go, maybe it was God. And then you have other people that go, yeah, thank God. Thank God. What's the harm in that? And while we're at work and something goes great, thank God. Oh, no, I can't say thank God. These people don't know God. Good. They will figure it out. You'll figure it out. Okay? And they'll learn it through you. There's a famous saying by St. Francis of Assisi, and I know it's been said a million times, I'll say it again. Preach the gospel of God always, and only if necessary, use words. Don't use words. Don't say anything about God. But people, just like that servant asked me back at uni, why is your cross out? You don't need your cross out. He's right. People should look at me and say, that definitely is the behavior of a Christian. But sometimes in our church, as sad as it is, we probably are worse people than people that have no faith. We snake each other, we're rude to each other, we gossip, we resent each other, we're not honest with each other, and we don't act Christ-like. But what does St. Paul say? He goes, it doesn't matter who it was, I became to that person the way they needed me to be. How many of us, how many of our parents need us to step up for them? Oh, but it's too draining. I understand. Yes, of course it's draining. But this is our service. How many of our siblings have tapped us on the shoulder? Oh, but it's too draining. How many of our Sunday school kids? How many of our friends? How many of that person that I definitely don't want to text? Do I need to step up and just be as St. Paul? Whatever you are, I'll be like that to you. And this weird word, St. Paul says, I can do whatever I want. St. Paul defines his freedom as, I'm free to lay my life down for whoever I want. That is so ironic. I'm free to lay my life down for whoever needs me. That doesn't sound like freedom. I don't lay my life down if I'm free. Like the opposite. The world tells us what? You're free. We're actually in a generation right now where everything is very oriented about how much I do and how much I receive. Example, work more, save more, get off social media. Why do they say get off social media? For your own personal growth. Train more. Go get that, go buy the shoes that you like. Go buy that dress that you like. Go buy that suit that you like. Save more money, make more money. Train more, sleep more, eat organic food. There's a billion things that we need to do and be aware of. And what usually comes at the expense of it? Being a good Christian. Why? Because I make everything about myself. I forget my responsibility as a steward and as an ambassador for Christ. I forget that. Don't worry about that. That will come when I have time. That will only come when I have time. Can we read verse 24 to 27? That'll be the end. Thanks, Samuel.
Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we four are an imperishable crown. Therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air, but I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I preach to others, I myself should become disqualified.
Saint Paul talks about this idea of, there's all these people that talk about like gym discipline and, save more and whatever it is. Yeah, Saint Paul started it. Honestly, Saint Paul was the first one to be like, hey, stop being a little wuss, forget about your own needs, and step up. And what did the best thing about Saint Paul is that he never did anything, he never said anything without doing it himself. Saint Paul was he was crazy, man. It was awesome, like awesomely crazy. He didn't stop. There was times where people would offer him money because he was like the person serving, and people would say, "Oh, take the money, take the money." He goes, "I refuse to take the money because I don't want anyone to even think I'm doing this for the money." There was a time where they were supposed to eat some meats, which was, it wasn't prayed on. I can't remember the exact thing, to be honest. What was it again, Abuna? Was it meat? Sorry, come again. Honestly, مش فاكر. I just remember one bit about him not eating something because it might, make people stumble. The meat that was sacrificed? Yeah, and the truth is that he goes like, if I eat this meat, he goes, it doesn't change a single thing. It's halal, it's haram, it's like, kosher. Doesn't matter. It's lahm is lahm. It's food is food. Doesn't matter what it is. Because he didn't care. He goes, but he was only afraid of one thing and one thing only. What if I eat this meat that's been sacrificed or prayed on by the wrong person? What will people think? Therefore, it's all right, better not to eat than to eat the thing that looks good. I don't want people to stumble. How many of us even have that same little category for ourselves? A lot of us are servants. A lot of us have, we're ambassadors of Christ. And like, I'll just give a very simple example. This idea that, Samson was sanctified. And he had a few rules. His few rules were, number one, don't cut your hair. I think that was a pretty obvious one. Number two, he wasn't allowed to touch anything that was dead. Okay, and he kind of stuffed that up with the lion. And then the third one was he wasn't allowed to touch any alcohol, like any fermented drink. Okay, he shouldn't touch that. And people go, yeah, drinking itself is not a sin. Great, I'm with you. However, Samson was sanctified. Sanctified means set aside for a specific purpose. Samson was set aside for a specific purpose. And you and I were baptized. And we got the Holy Meirun, the chrismation. We were sanctified. Let me ask you now, is that alcoholic drink, is it still not a sin? I'm not saying it's a sin. Do as your heart desires with the guidance of your confession, Father. However, I am set aside for something. What I do in front of other people might be perceived incorrectly. For example, if my wife and I would like to have a drink, I'm not saying I'm going to go to hell for having this drink. I'm not going to go to heaven for having the drink either. I don't think there's any severe ramification. However, if I then go and I apply this principle and then I start drinking at a wedding and, I've got a bunch of youth, I've got a bunch of Sunday school kids, I've got a bunch of school kids, I've got a bunch of people that, consider me to be a servant, and I just have my very safe 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks. Are they going to be like, wow, what a responsible drinker. Like, I'm really proud of him. What are they going to see? He drinks. Therefore, I can drink. Honestly, let's be honest. If one of Jonathan, had a few beers, we'd be like, yeah, we would all use it. If we want to drink, it'd be like, Abu and Jonathan drank. Therefore, I can drink. And we'd all use that argument. What's your argument? Abu and Jonathan drank. Yeah, that's it. That would be our final argument. But it's the same with us as well. We're ambassadors. And St. Paul felt that responsibility. He really felt that responsibility. And the truth is, I've never heard in my life, I don't know if you guys have, but I doubt anyone's ever heard this. I've never heard the following statements: I regret spending too much time at church, or I regret giving too much money to church, or I regret praying too much. I've never heard those things. I've heard I regret spending all my time at work. I've heard I regret spending money on clothes. I regret spending time with people that I shouldn't have spent time with them. I regret going to certain places. I regret being on social media. I regret being on my phone. I hear all those things. We all say those things. But yet, what does my behavior, what do I naturally do? I do all those things that I end up regretting. But St. Paul, once again, he always found it. He always said, imagine right now, we were to go to heaven, inshallah, when we're all there. And we ask St. Paul, do you regret, not giving yourself, that mental health day, or that, feel good day at work, or, taking a day off service and, focusing on your health and focusing on, just yourself. And, he'd probably laugh in my face. Like, what are you talking about? He'd probably laugh. And what's his reward in all of this? And his Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. And that's the reward that we all have. Enter into the joy of your Lord. So we go back to the three things. The pattern of self-denial. I need to stop making the church about me. Oh, I hate the way youth meetings are. Oh, I hate the way that, Abuna didn't pray. You prayed too much Coptic. It's not about you. It's actually not about you. Serving all men. St. Paul, it didn't matter who he was speaking to. To a dumb person, to a weak person, to a strong person, to a smart person. He became that person for that person. He denied himself for that person. And striving for a crown. St. Paul never, ever negotiated. Didn't matter what it was, he was always willing to lay his life down. Glory be to God forever.
Andy, any questions on the floor? The slide is up if you feel like you need a... Sorry, some sign language through the baptism room. I couldn't understand what was happening. All right, so no questions here. We've got one question on the slider before you go, Andy, sorry. All right, it says, I feel like a nobody. Can I make a difference? Would calling a youth member to check in on them come across as judgmental? Doesn't matter if they miss 1 week. Donnie, this person did all the questions. There's about 5 question marks. Sorry.
I'll stand up here now. Oops.
All right, wait. Let me put up this slider for everybody else. Do you want it? Yeah. Sorry, because there's like...
Yeah,
5.
it's good.
It's a 5-in-1.
Yeah. Okay, Mike. Here we go. Loading. Yeah, sorry. Do you want? Okay, here we go. I feel like a nobody. Can I make a difference? Would calling a youth member to check in on them come across as judgmental? Doesn't matter if they miss 1 week. Very solid questions. I just want to, first things first, I just want to tackle the first statement. I feel like a nobody. Really, good on you for being able to type that. In saying that as well, this is a very big lie from the devil. This is the biggest lie from the devil. I feel like a nobody. Now, the truth is, we are all actually nobodies. Why am I great? I am great because of who my Father is. And that's as simple as that whole term is. I am only great because of who my Father is. And I need to wake up and actually know for a fact, I am the son of the Most High God, or I am the daughter of the Most High God. And that's not a light statement. I am royalty. I truly am royalty. And the truth is that when I say I feel like nobody, I have been deceived by Satan. It's actually I gave a talk not long ago about what are the things that drive youth away. And this is one of the biggest things. Youth feel like they have no purpose or they have no, position in the church. And a massive lie from the devil is they say, the devil whisper in your ear and say, what, you're going to go to church? Do you not remember that sin you just did yesterday? Don't you remember the party that you went to last night? Do you not remember? Shall I show your text messages to your confession father with this person? And we go through all these different things. And what do we say? I'm nobody. No, it's actually the complete opposite. what ends up happening is when I know for a fact that I am the son of the Most High God and I live up to that as well, I understand something, that I need repentance. I need to confess. When I go into that pattern, I will feel like I am the luckiest man in the world. I'm so lucky. I get to confess. Not I have to confess. I get to confess. And it changes the narrative of the I feel like nobody. Can I make a difference? Absolutely. How do we know this? Moses, the guy who had a stutter, would go up and be the person to take all the all the Israelites out of slavery. This was a man who could barely speak. One of my favorite stories of all time is the story of Gideon, okay? A man who worshipped an idol, a man who was pretty much this puny little soldier who had nothing great about him. And when the angel appeared to Gideon, they called him Gideon, the mighty warrior of the Lord. And what ends up happening in that story, you have 100,000 men that came up against 300 men. And little Gideon, this little puny soldier, was the one that was called the mighty soldier of God. But there's a nice saying, God doesn't call people that are qualified. He qualifies the calling itself. God doesn't look at me and go, okay, you know what? You've got a bachelor's degree, you've got a Mashad affair, you've got $4 million, you've got, successful online, then you can start to serve. No, absolutely not. Who are the servants that Christ tapped on the shoulder? Tax collector, fishermen, people that were unskilled, uneducated. Those are the people that he chose to actually take the church on. And because of those 12 people who went out in 2 by 2 later on, that's why we're here today. We're literally here because of those uneducated, unqualified, undeserving people. Would calling a youth member to check in on them come across as judgmental? Doesn't matter if they miss 1 week. I don't think missing 1 week is anything, but I think if I didn't go to church and someone texted me, oh, it's nice to know that my presence or my absence was at least felt. It's a nice feeling. I don't think anyone ever be like, oh man, it's so annoying, man. Like, just leave me alone. Okay. Sometimes we might feel this because we're, feeling sorry for ourselves. But the truth of the matter is, there is no way someone will ever feel like they're judged, because it just depends on how you present it. Hey, bro, all it has to be, and there's a few people in this room, and I can't give them too much credit, otherwise, they're going to lose their blessings. But there are some people in this room that just send a text message saying, we missed you today, full stop. What a beautiful message. Took about 4.5 seconds to send the message. And actually, hey man, you know what? I went through a hard time, yada, yada, yada. Or, hey bro, I'm so sorry, I just had a family event. Thanks for checking up on me. Thank you very much. How beautiful is that? That's actually a very, very beautiful thing. No matter who you are, you can always make a difference. Always make a difference. Okay. Will I go to the next two? Yeah. Okay. What's an actual way to bring someone to church other than asking to come? Should I offer to pick them up, or is that too much? No, I don't think it's too much at all. But like if you say, I'm going to pick you up, yeah, back up. Okay. Take a step back. However, you could say, like, for example, it just depends on the context. If it's someone at work and I go, I'm picking you up, I think some people don't appreciate that as much as Arabs. Like the Jippos, like, yeah, bro, please pick me up. I don't like being alone. But some people are like, no, I like my car. I like being in control. I want to leave whenever I want. And that's completely okay. And there are people, by the way, that have come to church before and just left. Like I know people that have literally driven themselves to church and go like, I couldn't do it and left. But it took that one person to follow up with them. Hey, wait, bro, I came to church. I didn't see you. I got nervous and I left. Hadr, no worries. Next, would you like to come with me next time? Oh my God, please. Very different. I didn't force anything on the person. You don't force anything on the person, but you extend a hand. Okay, extend a hand, and if they would like, yeah, absolutely, I'm happy to pick you up. But it's not, I'm going to pick you up, because sometimes, I probably do this a lot. I'd feel like I'm doing that person a favor, but like, yeah, bro, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go very intensely and probably turn them off the whole Christianity itself. Okay. So, in saying that, like, hey, this is the address. We start at 7:00 or we start whatever time it is. If you would like, let me know when you're at church. As soon as it's good. When I'm at church, get out. Go pick up the person from their car, because apparently walking in here is actually very hard. See, I never knew that, because my whole life walking in as a little kid, I walk in, I'm throwing things, and now I walk in as my heart desires, not a big deal for anyone. We walk in, we leave 50 times if we want. But some people, it's a very big deal. Just that first bit about coming inside is very, very stressful. I hope they answer the question. Sometimes I feel spiritually empty. How do I share the goodness of the church when I'm struggling to see it? Great question. Oh, Lord have mercy. This is something that like I'll always struggle with. How can I give you guys a talk today if I have nothing inside of me? How can I give you guys, a sermon? How can I give a lesson? How can I, appeal to anyone? And I truly think this. I think when I realize how empty I am and God gives me these opportunities to be a good Christian, I go back and I lean on Him so much. Lord, as I'm about to go to this service, which I have no desire for whatsoever. I don't care about anyone. I'm clearly frustrated at everything and everyone. However, Lord, speak before I speak. Walk before I walk. Act before I act. Do all things before I do them. Because if I do them myself, it won't be good. And I encourage this prayer, to be honest, because I feel like every time that prayer is prayed, God is just too kind. God is too kind. How can God leave His Son when He's begging Him? Don't just say it expose your heart to God and truly be open with Him. Speak to, I don't know, people have this weird way about speaking to God. Oh God, thou the being. Yeah, relax, it's God, it's your Father. Imagine you're a parent one day and, open up the door and your child goes, oh, provider of this household and, manifester of all. But what are you talking about, bro? Hi, Abney, how are you? Say you love me, come up, wrestle with me, that it has to be an actual relationship. It has to be love. And speak to God like that. God, I'm upset with you. God, I'm angry with you. I don't want to come to church. I don't want to go to youth. I definitely don't want to go confess. But guide me. Give me the strength. Please walk with me. I don't want to do this. And I've always felt that every single time I force God to come into these things, that they're always so much better.
Guys, if that wasn't a banger at the end of the series, I don't know what is. Thank you again, Andrew. For last minute, I think that was fantastic. So God bless you, Andrew. Obaltigi more often. It's good to see you, Shabab. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I was still thinking, oh, thou provider of this whole. Sorry, it was really good. All right. Okay, announcements. Our beautiful servants from the Philippines, Alhamdulillah Salama, you guys are going to come up and give us a presentation soon. I can see the last minute edits by DJ Jason Derula at the back there. Sorry, bro, I had to expose you. All right. Anyways, it's going to be fantastic. But what's it called? Church verse, come on. This is getting embarrassing. 7 months into the year. Come on, we right now, so far we know about maybe the book that it comes from, which is John what? Just 26 have. Just 26. I don't even know if there's 26 chapters in. Yeah, that's right. John 12:26. All right. Listen. Is there anyone going to help me, or am I going to have to read it again? Anyone can tell me even anything about it? You don't even have to tell me the verse. Just tell me something about it. It's about service. Perfect. And what happens to those who serve Him? Beautiful. Him, my Father will honor. So that's the last part. All right, we'll learn that part because Benny so kindly taught us. All right, so we'll learn just the last part of the verse because we practiced the start, the first 3 months, and then the Sena. Yeah, and we'll come back to it. Anyways, if anyone serves Him, my Father will honor. Let's also say it together. If anyone serves me, I was going to do two, but all right, whatever. No, I'm joking. All right, okay. If anyone serves me, him my Father will honor. Fantastic. All right, cool. John 12:26, all right? If you don't remember it yet, remember we like John, and 2026 sounds like 12:26. Yeah, very close. All right, so save the dates. Who knows the date of camp? Beautiful. October 16 to 18. It's gonna start being warm. Uni break, maybe. I don't know. You guys are too hard to work around. One semester, one trimester, one uno semester. حاجات غريب. So just come. Let's be honest. You don't need to study for uni. ChatGPT. If you need help, if you need help with anything uni related, come to me. You cannot excuse, bro. I studied 2 weeks for uni, the whole 5 years. All right, so come, just come. I hope you have my ways. All right. Today is the deadline. No, I'm joking. Less badri, but you know, the earlier you get in, the better. Because if I know heaps of people are coming, we'll put way more effort. You know, logic. So G it up. All right. Don't worry, we're putting a lot of effort. The team is cranking as we speak. Talks and topics are already on the way. It should be really beautiful. Pre-talks on the saints of the church. Sarah gave us a beautiful pre-talk last week. A lot of you guys missed it. It was very nice. If you guys would like to do a pre-talk, please come to me. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. Preach. All right, Andy? You don't be shy. All right. I feel like I had something on my mind that I can't remember. Oh, next week we've got an outing. We were hoping, you know, it would be beautiful to go to the rocks for the Christmas festivities and the snowflakes. I got helwa, but I don't trust any of you. So you know where we're going to? We're going Chill Fest Koshagaya Park because I can trust, maybe trust that you guys can drive 2.5 minutes. That's the maximum limit of my trust at the moment. So Chill Fest, God willing, next week we'll send the times and the things and the address if you don't know where Koshagaya Park is. But that's always the fun stuff. Otherwise, book club's on tomorrow night as per usual. Bish sent the message on the chat, so have a look. It's forgotten medications, medicine. Yeah, sorry, medication. Hello. All right. Christian Aid Tuesday night, 6:50 at the Ron Moore Hall. If you guys have any blankets, any gloves, beanies, clean condition, something warm, yeah, blankets. Yeah, I said blankets at the start. Oh, that's so beautiful. And New King James Version Bibles. Yeah, a little bit larger. Well, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Abuna. New King James Version Bibles and a blanket. Everyone come with one next week. Boom. Finished. Contribution. Right, Andy? Contribution. That's it. Sometimes we think, oh, what's $5 going to do? What's $10 going to do? You know, $10 gets you a blanket? Queen size. Queen. Bro, I don't even got queen bed, bro. It's wild. All right. What else? Wednesday night Bible study. Amos, wrapping it up, getting intense. Israelites are getting pumped, which is us. Yeah, we are the equivalent now. Orthodox Christianity is Israelites of the Old Testament. We are getting destroyed by Amos. So come, learn how to be better. Thursday night youth sports. Encourage each other, ya shabab. Come on. It's been a minute since we played some soccer. If you're keen, G it up and we can play together. Plenty of liturgies throughout the week. Lots and lots, right, Abuna? Abuna, 5 out of the 7 days, you have no excuse to not commune, okay? And especially the Friday early morning liturgy before work, 5:30 to 7:30, it's ice cold. But the takif is very nice. So come and enjoy, and it's really beautiful. Anything else? That's it. Philippines. We're up to the Philippines. All right. If the Philippines team want to take the stage, share about some of the ministry. It was a beautiful service, beautiful time that they had. Don't put your head down, Joyce. Don't even pretend, bro. I'm looking at you. All right, while Jace figures out how to do magic, you guys can share something small about the Philippines. Come in the middle. Hey, go, come.
All right, anyways, hi guys. As Sammy mentioned, we just went to the Philippines. Thank you. We left on the 30th of June, got back on Friday, so a total of 10 days of service. Mainly the whole service trip was just full of us reaching out to the poor, actually reaching out to Coptic Orthodox people in the Philippines communities who are struggling with finding church, people who actually aren't even Coptic as well, just inviting them to church, kind of giving them general talks on purity and where to find God if they need Him. We visited a detention center, a few schools. The girls were privileged enough to go to a women's shelter for sexually abused children. We did some home visitations. So look, the service was all over, but we covered a lot of things. It was very beautiful, very fruitful. And I think a lot of us took a lot of things home of what we learned.
I think John said a lot of what we did. It was really fun. I think it was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm being serious. Edward and Thomas can tell you. But it was really, really fun. I think if you want an opportunity to see things differently and to experience new things, definitely try to go on a mission trip. I learned so much about everyone else and about myself on that mission trip, and it was actually the funnest thing I've done. One thing, like my favorite thing, it was definitely the women's shelter. It was really upsetting and sad. I don't know, they've gone through a lot, and the way that they handle themselves and how they speak and how they talk, it was great. Like you don't see how much other people go through, and you don't deal with like not even enough what they have gone through, and they have really, really good personalities, and they just show themselves in a good light. I'll tell you another thing as well. The kids that are there, we went to Manila. It's like the city there and the capital, and the leaders that were there, they were like our servants. We have leaders, they're a bit older. Their leaders, Max is around like 18, 17 years old, and 20 years old, and we had a retreat day where we hosted activities and stuff for them. And there was a time where we gave them free time because we actually didn't know what to do for like 10 minutes. So we're just like, guys, just have free time. And then one of the boys opened his bag, got the symbols out, and they started doing tasbih in their free time. I didn't know what to do. I was like, are you serious? There's no way in their free time they're doing tasbih and I'm here. I would have been on my phone straight away. I was already searching up TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok for so long. And he was just sitting there doing tasbih. So you really learn a lot from the people that have a lot less than you. So you should definitely go.
Yeah. Jason, I want to say Jason.
I think my favorite thing from when we went was in Manila. We did the detention center, and these kids, when you walk in, you question like what these kids do. They're the most happy, the most like shining kids, and they were just like really fun. All of it's in the video, you'll see it. But there was that. We visited the cancer patients at the center. And then we went to schools in Tacloban. We went to 3 different schools, one of which was from 11 to 12, 10, 11, 12, the grade. And then the other 2 were 5 to 6. And they were just all over the place. They were ecstatic to see us. And we were blessed to serve them. It was amazing, to be honest. Yeah, that was my favorite, I think.
Did anyone go to Philippines before? Did anyone explore? Andrew? Yeah, I think برضه Andrew can share with us something small. No, but I think it was a great chance seeing very different service. So Philippines has Manila as a capital, and our other cities, islands. We visited Manila as the first few days, and then we visited Tacloban, last 4 days. You know the verse that Christ told the apostles that the harvest a lot, but the labor not much. This is exactly Tacloban. So Tacloban is, it has very few Coptic servants, 2 or 3. The priests go and visit every now and then. And they have around 10, 15 Filipino servants. But there is, if there is few youth servants from like Australia, America, they will make a big difference at schools. We visit 3 schools, and all the schools, they are really hungry to know Christ. The kids willing to listen. Although the message I think we delivered is a simple message about social media, about Christ. Very, very basic messages, but they are really have nothing. They are really missing a lot of what we think it is something, yani, we know it. Yani every week we come, we have a talk, we have a mass, we have a sermon. This is all for us, it's just normal. But there is not normal. It's something very, very appreciated by the kids. When we sit with them for 10, 15 minutes, they really appreciate it. And that's what came from that mission. We would love to have a project in Tacloban for youth to go for a month and 2 months, to stay there, to give sessions for the schools. Because these kids, if they find someone to just direct them to the right way, they will be perfect. But sadly, there is no one. And the media there, and the poverty, and the government there, they are not helping. They're not helping anyone to get improved or better or more alert, understanding. They are not. But once they find light, a candle, enlightened, they take it and they use it and they appreciate a lot. So this is something not to give you an idea about the service. It's an invite for you guys. If anyone have a spare few weeks, 2-3 weeks on the side anytime, and you guys want to really serve and see the harvest of God, please come and we'll guide you to the right way. This place, very nice, people very simple. They were waiting to the word of God. It's like, the good soil in the parable of the Lord, when he mentioned about the sower and putting the soil, the seed in the good soil and the rock and the thorns and on the way. This is exactly the same. But this is a good soil that's waiting for any seed to be thrown, and they are willing to grow. That's the beauty about Tacloban. Of course, in Manila, there are many services being done. Many services can be done, but waiting for your resources. So, and I think we do this service every year, and we, the one who are learning from them, because although, for example, Joy is talking about that girls, how that they went through a lot of abuse and stuff, they are still joyful and happy, trusting in God, and they are appreciating anything. I think we spend an hour, 45 minutes with them, but this hour, 45 minutes with them made a huge, huge difference inside them. I think it affected the girls more than the girls there being affected, to be honest with you. It's a beautiful journey and beautiful experience. And I encourage you guys, if you have the opportunity to do it, please do it. We're trying to do every year 12. Once they finish, we'll send them to a mission or a service like Fiji every year, because Fiji is closer, less, the cost is much less. But Philippines, one of the places that you can actually do a mission trip, not just a service, a mission. You talk to people about Christ, and something small can change a lot.
Okay, we're gonna play the video now.
So I went a few years ago. We were It was the first mission trip of the Coptic school. We decided to take a group of 15 kids, year 11 and year 10 and year 11 kids at the time. Yeah. Look, the truth is that I was very against this idea of like mission trips itself. I always had like this perception of like serve your home, serve your family, and you don't need to go to the Philippines, you don't need to go to Egypt, or you don't need to go to Kenya to, you know, be good, or whatever it may be. But as soon as I went there, I realized very, very quickly that I was served. I learned so much more from these people. One of the places that I went to that these guys went to was the Cancer Council. And you just see kids that are like, it's so incredibly poor. But, you know, the servants, the parents there are just so willing to hear anything about God. We had Father George with us who gave a Bible study, and not for a single moment did a single parent ever feel the need to move or look at their kid or whatever it was. They were just so focused on, you know, this sermon and this idea of having a Bible study. And there was this other one. Unfortunately, this place is actually now in flames. It's called Nandi. I can't remember exactly where. No, not Nandi. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was this. It was pretty much it was like the inner area, and basically where these people lived, there was a sewage line right outside where they lived, and as you walk through, you're surrounded by a bunch of like like cables, and I had to duck the whole time. I was pretty scared because I thought I was literally like one zap and GG. But you know, put my head down the whole time, and I remember when I got there, there was so many kids. And all we did with them is we sang like Christmas songs. We did Christmas in July. We did a bunch of like Christmas songs. We gave them little gifts. We played some basketball with them. And I remember there was this one kid inside when they were doing the Sunday school lesson. You know, like if you look at, let's be honest, if you look at kids here, Sunday school, it's like they're trying to avoid it. There was a kid who was really sick. And so his parents, you know, God bless their wisdom, they left their kid locked up in the cage. It is a cage, unfortunately. It's not even barbaric. It's literally all they have. It's literally like this cage door. And as the service was going on, I saw this kid on the side, and I just said, hi, like, you know, what do you want to do? And he's crying. He's sobbing. He can't even speak. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? He goes, I want to go to Sunday school, please, please, please. And I was like, easy. Just come to Sunday school. And then, you know, parents were saying like he was really sick. And we just came to the conclusion, we didn't care. You're sick, come out. Just come out. It's fine. And as soon as we opened up the door, he started crying again. He was so happy. He hugged all the kids. He hugged all the servants. And no one ended up sick. No one ended up sick, by the way. That's what you would expect. But I truly believe that God really did protect us as well. Like no one, no kid, no teacher, none of the servants that were with, no one got sick as well. And although it doesn't seem wise, although it's not logical by any sense, you know, God really did take care of us as well. And, you know, how could he not? How could God not take care of us? But yeah, I learned so much, you know, how lucky am I that I have a church? How lucky am I to have meetings? Yeah, and these people don't have it.
It's currently 7 a.m. and our mission trip is starting.
This is St. Barbara's service trip.
We're actually going to the Philippines on a mission trip.
It's currently 7 a.m. and our mission trip is starting.
This is St. Barbara's service trip. on the way to the Philippines. Please step back.
It's currently 7 a.m. and our mission trip is starting.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world. So she ran away in a she closed her eyes.
Ay hindi pumayag na sambahin nyo. Mga pagsubok na naranasan mo sa kasalukuyan. My name is Irene.
You're smart. All right, we'll close up. If we'll just take a photo together, you guys just come close, or even come on one side if you want. Yeah, we can do full up one side. Come, full up. Is there even there's enough? Yeah, full up. And if anyone's looking to contribute to services of the church, please let myself or Abuna know. There is so much to be done. Pray and we'll call it a day. You have to offer to him, or he's going to offer to you.
In the name of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I mean, we thank you, dear Lord, for giving us a church to always come to, O Lord. We thank you, Lord, that we're in a country where we're able to come with no consequences, with no fear. And I ask that you always protect our church, protect the servants of this service and each service, O Lord. Lord, I ask that you look at everyone here today. Look at their hearts desires, O Lord. Feel their desires. Answer all their prayers, O Lord. I ask that you give them all the kingdom of heaven. Lord, I ask that you watch over our priests, watch over the servants, watch over each of the youth, O Lord. Protect them against all the things of the world.
With the intercession of Saint Mary, Archangel Michael, Saint Mark, Saint Barbara, Saint Julian, and Saint Ophir, Saint Joseph the Carpenter, and all your heavenly saints and angels, and Saint Paul and Saint Peter, the martyrs, and the saints of the day, hear us, Lord, when we pray thankfully, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Shabab, so sorry. I know you're sick of my voice. I'm so sorry. But if anyone didn't get La'an water, we have some bottles. I'll bring them out here. One per family or friend.